Well, hello there, person watching me. Yeah, you. Want to learn about Movember? Of course you do. Hi, I'm Ali Bryce, your dashing mustachioed host. But don't be put off by this magnificent push broom. We're very inclusive here. We love all moustaches, especially you, Tom Selleck. In this video, we're hoping to bring you some super useful info about Movember, who we are, why we are who we are, what we do, where the money goes, and how you can help the mission. So, a couple of interesting facts. Since 2003, Movember has funded over a whopping 1,250 projects. We are the largest non-government funder of biomedical research globally for prostate cancer and the biggest men's health charity in the world. Epic? Yeah. Want to hear more? Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Roll the tape.
Hi, my name's Sarah Coughlin from the Movember Foundation. I am our Global Director of Health Promotion and I've been a Mo sister for 20 years. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Movember and why we exist. So, men's health, why does it matter? We're still seeing men die too young. Men on average will live 4 to 5 years less than women for largely non-biological reasons. And there are ways we can all contribute to ensuring that the men in our lives live long, healthy and happy ones alongside of us. So Movember's focused on some pretty significant areas. Prostate cancer is still the leading cancer that kills men in this country. 1 in 8 men in their lifetime will get prostate cancer. However, it doesn't have to be a tragic outcome. We are seeing greater survival rates than ever before, and men catching that cancer early is a really critical point. So knowing the risks that men face, knowing that 50 is a really important age to be talking about PSA testing with your doctor, that if you're black or you have a family history of prostate cancer, these are risk factors you need to be aware of and be having conversations with your GP about. Testicular cancer is another area of interest for Movember and an area we fund. We're still funding biomedical research across the world in trials to better understand the very last sort of resistant parts of testicular cancer we're seeing, but really high survival rates in young men with testicular cancer. So really making sure we're there to care for those men throughout that journey with the tools, resources and information they need to get through it and come out the other side healthy and well. And then mental health and suicide prevention. I think we're all more aware than ever how significant this issue is. Sadly, in this country, 3/4 of all suicides are men, and that is around about 13 men every day who take their own lives in the UK. Movember is committed to influencing this in a positive way, and the conversations we all have can contribute to that by being present, by listening, by spotting the signs in the friends and family around us when they're not doing so well, and creating a space in which it's okay to open up and seek some help is a really important part of Movember's contribution to improving the health outcomes of men. So thanks for joining us.
Hey everyone, I'm Suf Patel and I'm the Director of Fathers and Relationships at Movember. Today I'm here to talk to you about men's mental health. Men often don't recognize the symptoms of anxiety and depression, and they typically don't know when they're going through a tough time in their lives. Sometimes we see behaviors such as men becoming more irritable or aggressive, working too much, not seeing their friends and family as much, or drinking too much and starting to consume other drugs. Things in life can also contribute to mental health challenges. There are some tough times to watch out for. Those include becoming a father, losing your job, relationship breakdowns, and retirement. Movember has funded loads of programs to help tackle these issues. I'm going to tell you about a couple of them so you have an idea of what Movember does with the money that you raise. The first tool I'd like to talk to you about is called Movember Conversations. Now, Movember Conversations is completely free, it's online, and it's available now. It's available globally, and it's also been translated into French and German to support our EU community. It was developed because research shows that people struggle to help a friend who is going through a tough time in their lives. They don't know how to reach out to their friend, they don't know what to say, and they lack the confidence and the tools to really get through that conversation. So what Movember Conversations does is it teaches you about the ALIC framework. Now, ALIC is super simple. It stands for Ask, Listen, Encourage Action, and Check In. The first part of ALIC is Ask. Now, it's about asking the question and maybe asking more than once. So instead of just saying, how are you doing? And expecting the usual response of, yep, I'm all good. It's about asking again, how are you really doing? And that just allows your friend or loved one to open up. The next part of ALEC is listen. Now, it's about really listening, not listening and just waiting to talk or waiting to solve the problem, but actually just listening. The third step is encouraging action. So asking your friend or loved one to reach out to a GP or potentially talk to other people about what they're going through. And the last step is checking in. Now, checking in just lets your friend or loved one know that you're there for them on a regular basis. So it might just be, hey, should we go for a walk in a week? Should we catch up again in a couple of weeks to see how you're going? It just lets your mate know that you're there for them. Over 500,000 people so far have been to the Movember Conversations website, and 90% of them have found it useful. With more funding, we hope to build out the product further, for example, by breaking down the myths and barriers to going to see a counselor or a therapist. We also aim to reach way more people with this program. We'd like to reach millions of men globally so they can have tough conversations with the men in their lives. Another program we run is called Ahead of the Game. 75% of all mental health problems in adulthood have their onset before the age of 14. I'm just going to pause there. That's 3/4 of mental health problems have their onset before the age of 14. So it's really important for Movember to work with young people to make sure that they have the tools and the skills to recognize these mental health challenges and address them before they become lifelong issues. Research has also shown that organized sport is an effective and important way of reaching young men. We go to where these young men are and we deliver these workshops in an environment where they feel comfortable. So that might be in the changing room or the clubhouse as part of their sporting club. It's a global program that's being delivered in the UK, Australia, and Canada, and this video brings it to life.
Rugby league is the lifeblood of northern communities. It's woven into the social fabric. But there are other, harsher realities that connect places like Hull, Leeds, St Helens, Doncaster, and Wigan. These areas have some of the highest male suicide rates in the country. 3 out of 4 suicides in the UK are men. And globally, on average, 1 man dies by suicide every minute of every day.
We're all big, strong men, aren't we? We all like to think we can deal with all the problems.
Same as we've all got physical health, we've all got mental health.
It can become a problem when we don't know how to manage it.
Now, during a time like no other, a first-of-its-kind programme is using elite athletes to drive real conversations around mental health.
This is a workshop for when people do go through problems, because we've all gone through problems.
We don't show our emotion, or we don't say when we're struggling. I want to break all those stigma.
15 legends of the game have set out on a journey to share their own untold stories and deeply personal experiences, visiting the heart of rugby league communities as part of Movember's pioneering Ahead of the Game programme. A journey to change the way young men and others think.
In my generation, we were told not to talk about mental health. But your generation, we're encouraging you to do the exact opposite.
10 years ago, I lost those 2 friends. They chose to take their life. Some of the things what they wish they'd known about, you guys are going to know about today.
As you can see, we're using ex-professional rugby players in facilitating the workshops. This is because young men can look up to these people, and it helps bridge that gap between what these young men are learning and the men that have been through these things themselves. 4,000 young athletes have taken part in the fitness workshops so far, and this has happened with our partnership with the Rugby League World Cup in the UK. Ahead of the Game's positive impact is reducing stigma and promoting positive behaviours so young men can also help out themselves, but also a mate. We're now building relationships with more sporting federations, leagues and clubs to roll out Ahead of the Game. We want the programme to reach many thousands more young people. More funding would help us transform the next generation's mental health through sport. These are just 2 of the hundreds of programs that Movember researches, funds, and supports. But from these, hopefully gives you a taste of where the fundraised money goes and the vital work that we do.
Hi, I'm Sam Gledhill, Global Director for Digital Health at Movember, and I'm here today to talk to you about prostates and testicles. So let's first start with testicular cancer. Did you know that we surveyed a bunch of blokes between the ages of 18 and 34, and we discovered that 62% of them didn't know how to check their own testicles? Now, why is that important? Because testicular cancer is the #1 cancer diagnosis in young men, not only in the UK, but around the world. And getting to know your testicles, getting to know what's normal and then seeking help if something changes or something worries you is the way that we're going to make sure that people are detecting testicular cancer early enough and have a less intense treatment. So the Know Thy Nuts campaign that Movember has run every year at Testicular Cancer Awareness Month is like a big megaphone telling men to get out there, check their testicles, get to know what's normal, and importantly, go and seek help if something changes or something goes astray. If you happen to be diagnosed with a testicular cancer, Movember's also been funding a tool called Nuts and Bolts. It's a free online resource available to anyone in the world. And since we launched, we've had over 52,000 users come there to improve their knowledge, improve their understanding of what testicular cancer is, and importantly, what tools and resources and supports are available for men who might be facing a testicular cancer journey. But we're not done yet. We're continuing to think about what that product can offer and who it might be servicing. And we've noticed that actually there's a fair amount of traffic coming to that site that identifies not as someone who's facing a testicular cancer diagnosis, but someone who might be supporting someone through a testicular cancer diagnosis. So there's a real opportunity for us with continued funding to continue to drive and build and expand and add new features to that product that will continue to support not only men who are going through a testicular cancer diagnosis, but also their supporters and loved ones who might be working with them through that journey. You'll notice through the graphics that Movember has a fairly light-hearted approach to testicular cancer. It's an opportunity for us to talk to a community, a young community, in a way that's fun, a little bit silly, a little bit light-hearted, a little bit of funny, about a serious topic, but a little bit of fun, because we know that that's how young people engage with the content that we're delivering. And so Movember's uniquely positioned as a brand to be able to continue to drive that message of get to know what's normal, and if something changes, seek help and get support. Now, on to the prostate. Movember for many years has been funding prostate cancer research, clinical quality initiatives, and survivorship tools and resources in prostate cancer. And we're very excited to announce that we are now establishing the Global Real World Evidence Network, which is a big fancy way of saying we're bringing together all of the research, all of the survivorship support, all of the clinical quality initiatives that we've been funding now for many, many years under one roof. We've got campaigns, we've got research in multiple countries around the world. In the EU, these countries include Ireland, the UK, Germany, Spain, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Italy, and the Netherlands, and we're soon adding in Denmark and France as well. So we're very excited through all these European countries and the rest of the world, bringing all that research, all that knowledge, all that information, all that support under one roof that will give us an absolute powerhouse of information and resources that can really help drive changes, not only in fast-tracking the discovery of new drugs, the discovery of new treatments, but also how clinical quality can provide us the best way to support the survivorship journey that men are going through. How can we make sure that the quality of care across the world is uniform? How do we make sure that men are getting the support that they need and are living the optimum quality of life after their cancer diagnosis? Because we know that these cancers affect 1.4 million men around the world every year. So it's really important that these men have access to the knowledge and the tools and the resources, and their clinicians and their carers have access to all of the tools that they need to be able to give the optimum treatment to hopefully get these men back to living as happy and healthy a life as possible. So without your support and your ongoing support, we wouldn't be able to continue to drive funds and awareness and drive all the research and the outcomes for clinical quality, the outcomes for survivorship. So we're not done yet. We're at the start of a very exciting journey, and we're really excited to be going on that journey with you. So thank you.
What are you talking about? It really suits you. Oh, hi, me again. We hope you've enjoyed learning about Movember and the role we feel in supporting men's health, although that was a lot of talking heads. So how about we watch a quick and powerful video to summarise.
You know, it got to a point where I kind of shut the world out. I didn't talk to anybody.
It's prostate cancer that's gone all over my skeleton.
And there's too many of us dying. So yeah, enough of it.
All I thought was, to be a man, you had to be strong, you had to be macho.
You need to be a leader in both your voice and your actions.
boxing reaches some of the communities which are hard to reach. It's about supporting each other through tough times.
1, 2, double jab.
Movember is not just a bike shop, but a place of healing for men.
I feel like the change can come through these programs, and I've seen it change lives.
Things that I could only dream about 5 years ago, even 5 years ago, are now reality in my clinic.
It isn't just going to advance my own work, it's going to advance the work of a number of projects here, and that's ultimately going to lead to the advancement of a number of possible new treatments.
I see this as our standard, and I could not go back, and I would not go back to an old-fashioned clinic-based follow-up for well people.
Ask the right questions. So what are the right questions?
I didn't have to check the note, I didn't have to ring the doctor, I didn't have to ring you, it was all there.
You know those guys are keeping an eye on you.
Being exposed to research is really what saved my life.
The COVID crisis has nobody's coming.
What matters is what we do today.
I stand tall.
I stand tall.
Today.
Today.
I stand tall.
I stand tall.
For my people.
For my people.
When you live your life for something that's bigger than you, you'll always be a success.
1, 2, 3, let's ride!
Best version of us.
Best version of us.
For my brother.
For my brother.
For my brother.
For my brother.
As you can see, there's a lot going on in the world of men, and I, for one, am proud to work for Movember and be part of the movement. Now for the big question. How does Movember raise the money to fund all these incredible initiatives? Well, that's where you can come in. Grow! Grow a moustache for the month of Movember and become a walking, talking billboard for men's health.
Strike the pose.
Move. Move by committing to walk or run 60 kilometres throughout the month. That's 60 kilometres for the 60 men we lose to suicide each hour, every hour, across the world. Host a moment this Movember. Do whatever it is you enjoy doing with colleagues, friends and family. Host a pub quiz, a bake sale, a virtual event, a shave down, a games night. Do whatever it is you do to have fun.
So danço samba, vai, 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 vai.
It was a classic, that was good
samba,
stuff.
so danço samba, vai.
Connect 4! Mow your own way. Whether it's a grueling test of physical endurance or a not so sweaty pledge to kick a bad habit, take whatever mow your own way means to you and run with it. It really is that easy to get fundraising. Pick a route, create a personalised fundraising account or MoSpace at Movember.com and start putting the fun into fundraising. Movember can't exist without you, the fundraisers. We can't do the vital work we do without your support. So we thank you for supporting us to save men's lives. Together, we can change the face of men's health. I've been your mustachioed host. Thanks for listening. Cue outro. Oh, there you are. What are you looking at?